Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Monday. It is Monday. It's a new week, the last week of April. Can you believe it? I mean, next Sunday is going to be May. Wow. When did that happen? I don't know. The first couple of months just felt like it went so slow, and then April, bam. Like, boom, right out of the park. You know why? So is everybody who celebrates Lent waiting for Easter, so like just willing it to happen fast so that they could, go back to resuming whatever it is they gave up, or so they could resume doing whatever it is they gave up. So it's a terrible thing to say, I know. I'm gonna pull some guidance cards. I didn't really come up with anything today, so I have a funny feeling that it was because we're meant to do some affirmators deck today. So I have the original and I have the love affirmators. So, which is a really kind of something I attribute to self-love. Ooh, look, those just flew out of the deck. So, and so did those. So, all right, looks like we got our cards. Number one, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. I know a lot of times you're just like, I'm not really up to it, but, I feel like I don't want to let people down. Just tell them, look, I'm not really up to it today, and I'm trying to be, but maybe you're working on something, maybe you're working on yourself, maybe you're working on getting your brain back in order, whatever it is, just let them know. But, please, do ask me again. I had somebody tell me once, because I was busy a lot. At some point in my life, I was busy, and they're all, if you keep telling me no, I'm not always going to keep asking. Well, first of all, last minute doesn't always work, especially when, you have a big group of people that you do a lot of things with. And the funny thing is I think that stuck in this person's mind, because later they would say, oh yeah, I'll be there, I'm coming, blah, 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 blah. And then they'd either come up with a million excuses as to why they couldn't show up, or how, they would just kind of keep it open so that they would still be invited, not realizing that I'm not one of those kind of people. If you keep telling me no and you don't give me any reason other than, like, if you don't want to hang out, just tell me you don't want to hang out. All right, I can handle it, I'm an adult. But if you're genuinely busy, or if you have other plans, it's okay to say no. Just keep asking your people. I mean, like I said, if it's not someone you want to hang out with, just say, maybe not at this time, or, eventually they'll get the hint. But the right people, keep them in your lives, right? Keep them coming back and saying, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. Maybe next time. All right. So do not be afraid to say no. And that also goes, there was something very recent that just happened. Older sibling was supposed to be hanging out, and the person she was supposed to hang out with today is a little under the weather still. And so it's just like, it's okay. Sometimes when you know people well enough, you can read them and say, it's all right. Just take care of yourself. Okay. So there you go. It's okay to say no. One of my favorites. Reminds me of my mother. Be a beacon. You never know who may need your light. And by that I mean because she loved lighthouses. But she was also a beacon for a lot of people. So be a beacon, because you never know who may need your light. I had a great conversation with a friend this weekend. I am so sorry, you guys. My hair is just all over my face. I had a great conversation with one of my really good friends this weekend. And we talked for hours. But we were talking about that. They're kind of coming into their own story. They're kind of coming into their own, they're in their story, but I think they're gaining clarity in their story, and they're really kind of gaining traction on their forward path and their forward movement. And we talked about that. We talked about how, sometimes some of us will open up and share our stories, to be that beacon of light for other people, to be that green light that says, okay, or that yellow light that says, or the red light that says, no, But that's not for everybody. However, you may come across people on a more personal level that will resonate with you, and that will need your guidance, and that will ask you for help, or may just want to open up to you. They may just want to say, okay, hey, I'm here. Thanks. Thanks for listening. So be that beacon of light, because you never know who may need it. It's time to make a decision. That's the sorting hat. I don't know who's got what going on, but we also had a very similar card like that on Friday during Oracle Friday. So if you need to make a decision, it is time. Okay. Maybe it's because you're afraid, right? I have a great quote that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something basically along the lines, unless you try, you're never going to know what you can't do. Okay, so we're always afraid of failure, right? It's actually a nod to how do you know if you're gonna, succeed or not if you don't try. So try it, right? And that's a paraphrase of a Henry James quote. Let's see. This is, this is the second time this Slytherin card came up. It came up Friday or Thursday too, and I cannot figure out why, but I don't know. So, I mean, it's a big S. Maybe an S is coming into your life. I'm an S. But, ambitious, shrewd, cunning, strong leaders, achievement-oriented, self-preservation, pride, determination, and resourcefulness. Watch your pride. Maybe that's what it is. Be careful of your pride, all right? There's a lot of times when we'll keep doing things over and over and over again just because we don't want to admit we're wrong. Or we'll try to just shoot in different directions so that we know we're not wrong. It's like, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It can actually bring about better traits. It can open up doorways when you're able to admit that you're wrong. And I say that because you're not holding on to that. Ugh, will they ever figure out that I'm not right? Just come clean, admit it, own it. Isn't that the phrase the kids are using nowadays? Own it. I have had to do that in my past. So, you know what? I'm proof it will not kill you. So, there you go. Let's see. Live in the sunshine, swim in the sea, drink the wild air. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Allow yourself to enjoy life. Give yourself permission to do so. Enjoy life, okay? Seriously, enjoy it. It's not that hard. I know we think it is sometimes. I know we sometimes put so much pressure on ourselves, right? To really kind of just, I don't know. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be so perfect. It's all about progress, not perfection. It's all about living the life that you deserve. Here's another Henry James quote. It's time to start living the life you've imagined. And that's what this is about. Give yourself permission to do so. Give yourself permission to enjoy life, right? It's like what Ralph Waldo Emerson said. Live in the sunshine, swim in the sea, drink the wild air. Enjoy life. Even when it feels hard, just sit down and connect. Whether it's to yourself, to your higher power, to the earth, all three, whichever one, just take a moment to have some mindfulness. Everybody kind of, there are people in this world who are going to scoff at the term mindfulness, but I'm telling you, it's a game changer. And it really is, in a way, its own version of a lifesaver. Because you're getting out, it's teaching you how to get out of your own way. Okay, let's see. Life is like a book. Good morning, Jessica. Life is like a book. Some chapters are sad, some happy, and some exciting. But if you never turn the page, you will never know what the next chapter holds. I love that. I'm going to use Jessica as an example. Jessica was in a place where she was existing. And one day she decided, I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to turn that page. Well, she turned the page again, and now she's in a place that she absolutely loves. She absolutely loves it. I mean, I have never seen this girl go on and on and on about a place that she works in such a beautiful way. So it's perfect. And this is it. She is proof that when we turn the chapter, even though we don't know what's going to happen, it might lead to something else. She turned the chapter, she found herself in a different position, and then she turned the chapter again. Because I think that position opened the world for her. It made her see her worth. And then she turned it again. And I'm guessing on that one. But then she turned the page again, and now she's landed in a very wonderful, fabulous environment. Because I think she works from home. But a place that she enjoys, being a part of. And that's what each of those chapters are. If we do not turn the page, how do we know what's going to know, or how are we going to know what's next? It's scary, yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen on the next page. But you know what? Keep turning the pages, because that's life. Every step we take is a page in our book. Every event is a new chapter. You know, it just, we have to find the courage. And yes, I know it can be hard, okay? Because as you all see, I turn pages very slowly. So, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to do it. You just got to jump all in. And here's the last one. I actually saw this one pop out and then I forgot about it because it turns out it's the last card. Platform 9 3/4. For everybody familiar with Harry Potter, this is the platform between 9 and 10. Okay, and in London, I can't remember which train station it is because it is literally just skipping my brain right now. But you have to run at a brick wall in order to get there. So you have to trust that what you are running at will see you through to the other side. Okay, the first time Harry Potter ran through that wall, he's like, but he did it, and he trusted it, and he made it. And then poof, there's a Hogwarts train. Now, I don't suggest running at a brick wall, okay, unless you know it's magical, and you're magical. Otherwise, you know, watch part 2 and see what happens when an elf gets in the way. But you have to trust that what you are running at will see you through to the other side. When you turn that page, you are turning the page to a new chapter, a new era, a new, you know, maybe just the next moment of what's going to happen, moment by moment, right? But if you don't turn that page, yeah, exactly. That's what I meant by the elf. She's on. Dobby's not around. Yeah, Dobby. But he was so cute, and he meant well. But I actually have a card in this deck that represents Dobby, although a lot of people probably don't realize it. It's the one with the sock. Be free. You know, live free. But with this one, you have to trust that what you are running at will see you through to the other side. And sometimes it might feel like a blind trust, yes. Sometimes it just might feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? But you do it anyway. Because that's life. You can live it safely, or you can live it. And I'm not going to say dangerously. When I say safely, I mean you can just, you know, if you're happy the way things are and, you know, you don't feel like making any changes, but, you know, maybe you kind of just are in a mode, it's okay. Someday that might change. Or maybe you were fast living and now this is your rest period. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's your choice. It is always your choice. But if you're one of those people that are ready to make that move, if you're one of these people that are saying, you know what, I've got to change something, something's just not working in my life, then when you're running at it, you have to trust that it will see you to the other side. Okay, so let's go to the Affirmators deck. I'm just going to pull one from each of these. I did not have a topic today, did not care to make a topic today. I have to admit, there's a lot of excitement going on in this house right now because tomorrow is siblings' big surgery and we got a lot to do. And I think because of that, it's just kind of weighing on my mind. So, because, you know, you just always want everything to go well, right? You want everything to turn out just perfect because, you know, and then you worry about what's going to happen after because this is a major dental surgery. So, caregiver to the next level. But she does have a freakishly high tolerance for pain, so it may not be that bad. It's just more of a matter of keeping her watered and fed. my pet for a few days. But no, seriously. But and making sure that she's okay because, you know, you gotta keep her tilted up. But yeah, I think, and there's just a lot of excitement, so it's really kind of hard to focus and really kind of just put down a thought. That may be the same for tomorrow, because tomorrow, during the perspective, she will actually be in surgery, and I will be home, just like, is she okay? How's she doing? She's my sister. I love her, and I just want her to be okay. So, we may just do these again tomorrow, but with the other deck. Now, I pulled a bonus card, and as tradition states from the very, very beginning of the Aloha perspective, which used to be called the Daily Vibe, whenever we pulled the bonus card, you always pull the card after it because. So, we'll do this one first, and then we'll do that one second, because that is the bonus card. But, oh, I love this. I find this to be a very, very good sign because older sibling is a Taurus, and here's a bull. Tact. Oh, I get it. A bull in the china shop. Yeah, tiptoeing through the china shop. I speak and act with care, remembering that impulsive words or a harsh tone can sometimes hurt others. If it feels like I'm walking on eggshells, I'll remind myself that those eggshells might actually be a shop full of china, and I might actually be a bull. Then I'll remind myself to stop mixing metaphors. So, okay, let's read this one and then I'll go into that. Levity. Laughter is the best legal medicine, and it looks like it's time for you to take a sweet, sweet hit of it. When someone annoys you or plans go awry, try finding something funny in there. And if you ever feel like the butt of the joke, remember that the only difference between someone laughing at you and someone laughing with you is that in the first version, you're not laughing. You always have the option, so opt to lighten up. It's legal in almost 200 countries. Levity. Gotta love levity. However, if you're the consistent butt of the jokes, tell them to stop. All right? There is a line between bullying and being the butt of the joke. All right? And you do not deserve to be bullied. Straight up. But if, it's just maybe... Okay, so there's a story from a long time ago when an older sibling had her surgery. And we call it the muffin story. And I'll explain it later. It had to do with older sibling post-surgery by about a month and a half-frozen chocolate chip muffin. And today I'm not ready to share it because I have other things I want to talk about. However, let's just say it did not I did not reflect well in that story. But she would tell it because she thought it was funny. And there was a time when it was like, I guess I was kind of the butt of the joke, but not really. But it was just a funny story to her. And then one day I decided, you know what? That's not who I am anymore. That's not the person that I choose to be anymore. And now we both kind of laugh at it. I started laughing. I found the levity in the situation. It's like it does not reflect well on me, but it also shows how much I've grown. And so it's kind of the same with this, I speak and act with care, remembering that impulsive words or harsh tone can sometimes hurt others. My mom used to always tell me growing up, you need to watch your tone. And I would say, look, what do you mean? Well, I have excellent resting bitch face, but apparently I also have excellent resting bitch tone, which I don't even know if that's a thing, but it's a thing now. Okay. I have mentioned it. So if it's not a thing, you heard it here first. But I do. I have excellent resting bitch tones. Kind of like, yeah, okay. But I think a lot of that came from the defense mechanism that I had built since childhood throughout my life to kind of protect myself. And it's something I'm working on because I do recognize that it is not helpful and that it can hurt feelings because people don't know, oh, well, did I step on your toe? I'm really, really sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to, whatever. And that's not the kind of people we want to be. That doesn't mean you have to have a cheery tone like, hi, hello, how are you? Yeah, just be yourself. But watch your tone. The voice I'm speaking in now is not my resting bitch tone. Okay? It is just, it's me. This is how I talk with people. But then there's times too when someone will say, okay, see, Jessica says it is a thing. My whole family has it. I'm always telling my kids it's the tone. My mom used to. And my mom, I'm not sure if she ever had a tone. I think my dad does. Sometimes. I'm not sure if he does or not. But I've never really stopped to actually listen and, compute it and study it. But if you're in the middle of doing something and somebody asks you a question, just, if you feel like you're going to be snarky, take a deep breath. Okay? Because they're not intending to annoy you. They're asking you a question. And the truth is, we have our faces so buried in our social media and our phones and our electronics all the time that I think we're always kind of busy. So nobody ever really knows when the right time is to ask you a question. Especially if you have a kid coming in the room saying, hey, blah, 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 blah. Take a deep breath if you feel you're going to snap, because other people don't deserve your shit. Okay? And it could just be like a defense mechanism for you that you don't realize you're still carrying. it's actually something I am consciously working on to fix in myself, because I do hear my tone now, and it's just like, oh, that's not how I meant it. I don't want to look like an asshole. I'm not trying to be one. I can be one. Or maybe I can be a bitch. But if I'm being a bitch to you, you have to ask yourself why. Right? And isn't that the way the term goes? If I'm being an asshole to you, you need to ask yourself why. So, or if you're not doing anything wrong, I may need to ask myself why. But the whole point is, we all have these attitudes, and we all have these moments. You know, even the most happy people have these moments where they're just kind of, you know, like we saw a news story this morning, and, you know, older Sim was like, you know, and it was aimed at the TV, but it's like, ooh, Snarksville. But, you know, and probably rightly so. But just be cool, be careful, okay? Watch the tone if you can. If you're amongst your people and they just know you, that's one thing. But a lot of times too, I think even with our own people, they'll be, you know, maybe they're in a different headspace and they're not thinking about how you normally are. And so I think sometimes for me, and I can't speak for everybody else, you do you. Whatever your thing is, you do you. But for me and other people who might feel the same way, I need to work on my tone. Because my tone really is kind of crappy. And it's kind of like, ugh. And I realize for me, it comes from a source of pain. And it was once a shield that I no longer need, that I no longer have to bear and carry. Okay, so remember, have tact and have levity. But watch with the levity, okay? It's like I said, I've used the example before of a person that used to really pick on me when they were feeling bad. And I was always the butt of their jokes. But when I would joke back, they would get offended. When that kind of thing happens, it could be a sign of bullying. And I know everyone's all bullying. It's a thing, okay? It's just become more of a thing now. Because those of us who were bullied as kids got tired of it and started movements for it. Because we didn't like the way we felt. I don't care if it's a generational thing. I don't care if it's a centuries old thing. People should not be picked on. You can actually hurt people and damage people mentally that way. Especially if they're already feeling bad about themselves. That's why we have to be careful. It's a lot easier to be kind than it is to be mean. Right? That seems like the number one rule. Be kind. So, but you know what? If it is something you did, just own it. Just own it and say, you know what? Yeah, I was not in a good place then, but it was kind of funny because bam, spot on. So I promise one day I will share that story. So embarrassing. But anyways, let's go to the other deck. Oh my God, you guys, we got another bonus card, which means okay. I almost pulled this deck first, and I thought, no, I'll go with the other one. Now, the one I just did, the red ones, they were on the bottom. But for some reason, I'm going to go with that one first. Interestingly enough, we talked about having tact and how to kind of reassess where we stand with, you know, how we react to things and finding levity and, you know, being able to laugh at yourself and joke with yourself. And it is fun. It can be fun to laugh at yourself because, hey, we do stupid shit, right? I mean, nobody can go through life and say they haven't done something dumb that they're embarrassed by, but it's totally a funny story. Older sibling and I have many of those. We have probably too many of those. But what I find interesting is that spontaneity came up. But more importantly, personal growth. Personal growth. I love that. The frog on the big bicycle. As I move toward greater consciousness, I feel old thoughts and habits fall away. Like training wheels on a bike, they help me get to where I am. But now that I can ride, I don't need those slow and crummy wheels, except when I'm making bike analogies. Right? Remember, this is the snarky deck. But personal growth. As I move toward greater consciousness, I feel old thoughts and habits fall away. That is exactly what I was just talking about. Reassessing why. You know, is it just because it's sarcasm? I mean, sarcasm can be fun. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me, but it bothers other people. But when I would get short, when I would when I would come out with a harsh tone, not just a snarky or sarcastic tone, but a harsh tone, is it a shield? Is it me trying to go in and isolate and then being kind of yanked out and be like, rawr? You know, I have to just figure out which one it is. But also isolating for me, I mean, I can isolate in a room full of people, or I used to be able to. You know, I could literally cocoon right in the middle of like 500 people and just be the quietest, most invisible person there. I mean, even if I was wearing a disco ball, I could do it. And that's not good. Isolating is never good. Because, especially if you have a dinged up mental health, isolating is bad. Because you get too far into your head, you get too far into yourself. And that can be dangerous sometimes. Or it can just lead to a worse effect than you're already having. You know, and I think sometimes when I have answered in a harsh tone, it's because I am so hyper-focused and just trying to be invisible that it's kind of like, what? What do you want? I don't care. Do whatever you want to. And I realize now, not the best way to answer somebody. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it now. But I'm going to work on that. I promise. That is my promise to myself, that I'm going to try to work on these things and try to be better, you know, because I don't want to be bitter. I want to be better. And that's the way to do it. So that is about personal growth. It's, again, as you move toward greater consciousness, you feel the old thoughts and habits fall away. When we become more conscious of our behavior, we realize, hey, there are things that I can do that I can shift. You know, I mean, you don't have to be a harsh tone. You can just say, you know what, it doesn't matter to me. Do whatever you want to do. Whereas opposed to, you know what, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Do you see the difference? It's the tone. It's the tone. And I am, I'm known for a harsh tone. Not a good trait. Does not reflect well on me. However, I'm also not afraid to make myself the butt of this joke, because I know that a lot of people don't realize they do that. I mean, you know, like I said, if it's just how you are, that's how you are. But if it's a shield, if it's a mechanism, if it's a defense mechanism, you need to realize, is this something that I'm using to protect myself? Or is this just, you know, our thing in our family? Like Jessica was saying, that it runs in her family. But that might just be their thing, right? That's just their thing. I think it's a Canadian thing. I'm just kidding. Our neighbors to the north. But we share a coast, so I gotta be nice. But seriously, I love Jessica to death. But no, seriously, that might just be their thing. And they realize that amongst each other, and they work well. But for me, personally, I know it was a defense mechanism on a lot of different levels. Not just from what I would talk about that happened as a child, but also because, you know, I'm struggling with the body love. I'm struggling with the body positivity. And a lot of times, you know, I get so into my head trying to think, what can I do? Why isn't this working? And, you know, it's just, when I bring that up, because it may not seem like it makes sense to anybody, but it's about self-love. And I forget that self-love sometimes. It's because, you know, sometimes I just look at myself and go, ew, when I shouldn't be. I mean, I literally consider myself an advocate for body positivity, and yet I am the worst advocate because I'm the worst example of body positivity. Well, maybe not the worst, but one of the worst. And I think that's still part of the defense mechanism. You know, it's part of that thing, like, you know, there's so many things when you heal that you realize you have to let go of. The wall, the defenses, the everything. And this is one of those things. But I also want to teach people that we need to love ourselves exactly as we are. Because we're perfect just as we are. Whether you need to gain weight, whether you need to lose weight, whether you're just where you're at and you're happy where you're at. Whatever size, thick, thin, short, tall, whatever. When we learn how to love ourselves, we start to see the world in different eyes. It may not always be pretty, because there are a lot of negative people out there. But don't get caught up in their swirl. Okay? Don't get caught up in their darkness. You know, I was telling a friend this weekend that I was talking to that other people's burdens are not ours to carry. And sometimes, especially if you're an empath, okay, I'm going to step out of the box for a second. I'm going to step off the path for a second. If you're an empath, you're going to notice these things. The first thing you want to do when you're helping somebody, you're going to notice people coming up to you that you may not even know, just spilling their life to you. It's because their soul can see your light. And they're all, ooh, it's like a phone box. You know, I need to call for help. Or like the blue box, right? Like Doctor Who's box, in case of emergency. The police box from London. But it's kind of like, you know, you lock yourself in and you're safe until they arrive. But in this case, you're finding that person's light. And you just feel comfortable because you know you're probably not going to be judged. A lot of people don't realize they're empaths and they might be like, why the hell are you talking to me? But along the way, they're going to figure it out or someone's going to tell them. But as an empath, you know, a lot of times we forget that we can help people shoulder their loads. We can help people just by sitting with them, by talking with them, by just listening to them. But do not take on their burdens. You cannot heal their pain. You can guide them and show them that it's possible. But individually, we're responsible for healing our pain. We're the ones who give ourselves permission to feel better about ourselves. I know, I used to want to heal everybody's pain, but I realized I can only make, sometimes you don't even make suggestions. If they ask you for help, make suggestions. If they're just unloading on you, just listen. They're there, just talk, you know. I hope you're okay. You know, I'm here for you. I'll do what you need me to do. If you ever want to talk about it or you ever want to, you know, go back and forth on some banter to see if we can work through it, that's okay too. But give them options. Don't take away their options by just pouncing and trying to fix it, because we cannot fix other people's problems. We can help them heal it. We can help them grow from it. We can help them move in the right direction, but you cannot heal their pain. Okay, that's where personal growth comes in. All right, and they might need those training wheels for a while, you know, as they pick up traction. But eventually those wheels will fall off. It's just like when we're kids, right? Learning how to ride a bike. I never had training wheels. It was like do or die. But just do it. Okay. So, spontaneity. The last bonus card. Do you like spontaneous adventures of the highest caliber? The only acceptable answer to this question is yes. So buckle up, Charlie. I know that's what it says, but don't worry. It explains it at the bottom. So buckle up, Charlie, with a little asterisk. You're about to take a wild ride through the unexplored, unconventional, and underrated. You're about to learn that yes is a magic word with the power to unlock new dimensions in space, time, and after-hour hangouts. Yes will lead you to experiences you didn't think possible and teach you that lifelong friendships are sometimes lurking just behind a karaoke singer's mullet. And the asterisk says there's a pretty good chance your name is not Charlie. All right, so let's read that again. There's a pretty good chance your name is not Charlie, so fill in the blank. Do you like spontaneous adventures of the highest caliber? The only acceptable answer to this question is yes. So buckle up, Charlie. You're about to take a wild ride through the unexplored, unconventional, and underrated. You're about to learn that yes is a magic word with the power to unlock new dimensions in space, time, and after hours hangouts. Yes will lead you to experiences you didn't think possible and teach you that lifelong friendships are sometimes lurking just beneath a karaoke singer's mullet. A mullet. I cannot get past the mullet. But yeah, you know what? Don't judge a situation. You never know. When I first met older sibling, okay, I went to my favorite hockey team's booster meeting, and they were doing volunteer signups, and I was still kind of new to the county. I'd only been up here a couple of years, but I didn't have as many friends as I had hoped. You know, I mean, I could count everybody I knew, basically, like, that I was close to, friendship-wise, on one hand. And so I thought, well, I'm going to join the booster club. And I joined the booster club. And then they had like a voluntary thing. And I was like, please see Laura for if you want to volunteer for this event. And so I worked up the courage, because very, very shy back then. And I thought, okay. And I went up to her, and she literally just, and this is another shy person, but she could see it in me, I think. We just connected like that. And she took me under her wing. Within like 2 years, we were like soul sisters. We were like sisters. About 3 years, we were like soul sisters. And she has been a pivotal part of my life. I would not probably have made it as far as I have without her, because early on in our friendship, she could also see the depression in me, because she also suffers from depression, and gently she would guide me. And I'm a slow learner, because I'm a class stage 5 resistor. As I've mentioned in the past, I resist like nobody's resistance. But she never gave up on me, and she just kept working with me. And slowly over time, I've learned patience. Just last week I was telling her, I said, I've just got to figure out where the root of this anger is coming from, because I'm healed. I feel better, but it's like sometimes it just springs up like, holy shit, where did that come from? And I actually didn't talk that out with her. But when I told her yesterday, I finally figured out where it came from. And I told her, she just listened without judgment. And sometimes that's what we need. We just need someone who's going to listen without judgment. There are times when she tries to fix me, and I understand that. I am like her little sister, and she is my older sibling. But we realize we can't fix one another. We can only help each other through, guide each other through, hold somebody's hand as they're going through the spooky parts of their life, the scary parts, the sad parts, and jump up and down and cheer when you go through the good stuff. She is my best friend. She is my soul sister. And I am 100% grateful for her. Because, she's taught me a lot of these things. She's taught me how to have fun. She's taught me how to come out of my shell. And surprisingly, like I said, she can be very shy as well. So I actually think we're both not as shy as we think we are anymore. I think we both have come out of our shell quite a bit. But like I said, don't give up on your people. If you have someone that you care about, that's, whatever your relationship is to them, just be there for them. Because sometimes it's all they need. They just need an ear. They need someone who they know is not going to give up on them, even when they push back so hard. That the kind of pushback that ends friendships. There was a lot of times in my old me, where I could really just kind of lose my shit for no reason, because I was so afraid of being let down that I would try to push people away before I figured they would walk away. And I learned how to not do that anymore. I learned how to trust. I learned that what I was running at would see me through to the other side. And she never gave up on me. And to all the people on my journey who have not given up on me, who have just been very, very good, amazing friends, I thank you. It took a village to get where I'm at today. But, there's still things I'm learning. I'm learning to watch out for my harsh tones. I'm learning to just find levity in everything, because there is always something funny about something else, or whatever, but just be careful with that one. Personal growth. I've had tons of it. I feel like I went from the little wheel of personal growth to the big wheel of personal growth. And now I'm the frog steering it. And spontaneity. Don't be afraid to be spontaneous. You never know where you're going to meet people. I took a chance and I was spontaneous and went to a meeting, and I ended up with a soul sister. And actually ended up with a lot of good friends. And then, after a while, Sissy, an older sibling, became very, very close, and they became soul sisters, and we were like three musketeers for a long time, until she passed. So, but we would have spontaneous adventures, and sometimes they would turn out super cool. So, you never know what's going to happen. Even if, nothing major happens on your little spontaneous adventure. The biggest part that you can look back on is, did you have fun? And if you did, then that's the best part. Regardless of what cool things may or may not happen, as long as you had fun, that's what's important. Okay, so I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. If you're watching this now or you were watching this later, please throw out the good juju, the prayers, the vibes, the healing vibes, whatever you can toss in the direction of older sibling. Tomorrow is her surgery. It starts at 6:30. Oh, good morning, T. I just saw you come on. Tomorrow is her surgery. Starts at 6:30. Super duper excited. Both, I think, super anxious and really, really excited. So I will see you back here tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Facebook Live. It is public under Shelly Marie Lucas. Anybody can watch. And we'll probably just be doing affirmators again because my brain is exploding with all this exciting stuff happening for sibling that it's making it hard for me to focus. So anyways, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. In fact, I told older sibling, because Jessica does Reiki as well, and I told older sibling, I said, we're gonna get you better because I'm gonna Reiki the hell out of your face. So I know, not the best way to put it, but hey, it's how I roll. So again, have a great, great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a wonderful, wonderful start to the week. It's Monday. Enjoy it. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. I don't think she can see the comments, so I will definitely let her know. But thank you to Bridget and to you for the healing. All right. So again, have a great day, guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.